diagnosed with lupus, depression, and anxiety.
She had a mental breakdown.
Let me make a promise. I am going to stop living like this. How do I learn how to breathe my own breath again?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys? It's Victoria, the host of the Feel Your Feelings podcast. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. Today's episode is going to be all about, not really an episode, more like a review type of thing. Pausing on the episodes for right now. We'll come back to it. Today I want to talk about the Selena Gomez documentary that many of you might be familiar with. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's called Selena Gomez, My Mind and Me. I'm actually looking up some information from it right now, and I didn't know that it's rated R. Had no idea. I actually watched it the other day, and there's some warnings beforehand that says this episode is very triggering for some people, and there's like some light sequences and things like that to be aware of at the beginning, which I like that they mentioned. And if you are triggered by stories about, mental illness, then they definitely have that trigger warning there. But I will say, okay, Apple TV Plus is extremely strict. Like, I tried to screenshot or screen grab some images and some clips from the actual episode, and it would not let me. Like, I would do a screenshot and the screen would just be blank. It would just be black. So Apple TV Plus is pretty exclusive, so you do have to have a subscription to Apple TV to watch this documentary. If you don't, you're out of luck, my friend. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I would like to begin with my preconceived notions about this documentary, right? So I like Selena Gomez. I grew up watching her on Disney Channel and on Wizards of Waverly Place. That was actually one of the shows that I really enjoyed watching on Disney Channel. And Selena is a Texas gal. She's from Grand Prairie, Texas. So I expected no less than really the best from this company and from Selena. She's obviously a very famous star, singer, actress, you name it. She's multi-talented, beautiful, and I really thought it would be like a video diary into her mind. So I was really curious to see how she thought, what her thought process is like, because how many times as kids you wonder, like, the people that you look up to, like the Miley Cyruses, the Raven Simones, the Selena Gomez's, like, how do they think? What is going on in their mind? So actually getting a glimpse in Selena's mind and seeing how she's thinking and what she's feeling, it seemed like kind of intrusive at first, but I really liked that she was able to open up like that. Okay, so now I actually want to get into my actual thoughts on the film. So as I was watching it, I actually took notes. Your girl was prepared. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a review of this for my podcast, and I want to know what I was thinking in the moment while I was watching it. So I came ready with some notes. So spoiler alert, if you have not seen it, this video is going to be full of spoilers, so don't come for me. Make sure you watch the documentary and then come back and watch this video, okay? Okay, the first note that I took was that I feel like I'm there with her. So the opening scene is basically her crying. She was doing a rehearsal, I guess, for a concert on stage, and she just is like crying uncontrollably. She didn't like the performance. She thought, I felt like she was being a perfectionist. She was being very obsessive over not sounding good enough, or not sounding right, and her team were just like, no, it's just you're just in your head right now, and like, it's okay, you're fine, it's gonna be okay. And so when she was crying in that moment, I just felt like I was there with her. Seeing her going through that was very sad to watch, actually. And so if you don't know about Selena's story about mental health, so she came into fame at a very young age. She was a child star, and after that her career pretty much took off in like the music scene and the acting scene and everything. And eventually all of that pressure with fame and the celebrity that comes with it eventually drove her to a mental health facility, and she actually experienced a psychosis state, which I had to Google, like, what does psychosis mean? Okay, so I just Googled it, and the definition of psychosis is when people lose some contact with reality. This might involve seeing or hearing things that other people cannot see or hear, hallucinations, and believing things that are not actually true, delusions. So Selena did actually open up about hearing a lot of voices and feeling very confused, and her mom spoke in a scene that said it was very scary because she was in this psychosis state for like 3 or 4 days, and some people don't recover from that. So the fact that she has recovered from that on top of her other illness, which is lupus, is very comforting, that she was able to pull through. But it definitely seemed extremely scary to her friends and the people around her that didn't know what was going on with her. So yeah, I had wrote down she was in psychosis. What is that? I want to talk about her trip to Kenya, but I also want to talk about her assistant Raquel. I don't know if Raquel's her assistant or whatnot, but she kind of rubbed me the wrong way sometimes, okay? I felt like she had the best intentions. She traveled with Selena to Kenya and to London, and they got into like a little spat, and Raquel was like, I feel like you're not appreciating your job right now. It seems like, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm not appreciating my job right now? I'm just like, she was annoying at sometimes, but I felt like you do need people around you to kind of put things in perspective and to tell you the truth, even when you don't want to hear it. The next thing I wrote down is that nobody is perfect. Nobody. By this, I mean that getting to watch the celebrity whom I've grown up on TV watching, and her allowing us a window into her life, which I'm pretty sure they didn't even show us the majority of what she went through and things like that, and her journey in the mental health facility wasn't even captured, which I'm glad, because I felt like that's like really not even my business to be watching. She's her own worst enemy and critic, and I feel like I can relate to that a lot. I'm definitely a perfectionist, and when people don't get me sometimes I just shut down. There was one scene in the documentary that really stuck with me, and it was when she was in London or France, and she was being interviewed by this journalist. She was sitting in front of a green screen, and the journalist was asking great, probing, interesting questions, and then she asked like, hey, where do you see yourself 5 years from now, or years down the line? And Selena says, oh, I see myself doing charity or philanthropy work. And then the journalist was like, okay, great, that's it, thank you so much, bye. I mean, it was so like the way the interviewer picked up, like as an interviewer, of course you want to manage deadlines and the timeline, but it seemed like there were more answers there that she could have like taken advantage of as a journalist, and Selena definitely picked up on that energy, because afterwards she's like, okay, sounds like you really understood me, aka she didn't understand her. So Selena goes off behind the scenes. She's like, she was asking great questions, but I felt like she didn't care what I had to say. Like, how mind-blowing is that we ask people questions, but we don't really wait around to hear the true answer of how they're actually feeling or wanting to hear what their real answer is. So I really wish that I could have heard more in that sequence with the interviewer, and just seeing all of the different interviews that she had to go through during the day of people asking her like silly questions and questions that she didn't like. I really like how she was real through that process. Like, it gets tiring being interviewed so many times. I can imagine being in that position, having like 50 interviews or press junkets set up, having to talk to people about the same thing basically. But when someone does ask you those probing questions, and as a podcaster I think about this, asking someone, probing questions about them, don't just ask them like they are a product or an object. Like, ask them because you want to know the answer to your question. She came to Texas, she went to Grand Prairie, and I love the part where she went to visit her old school, or her high school or middle school. She got to talk to some of the students there, and I really love the part where she said, don't let no stop you. The only person that can tell you no is you, but the limit doesn't exist, basically. So it's like, love to hear it, love to see it. You don't know what people are going through. Nobody. All the people that we look up to have issues, including us, guys. No one is immune from feeling what they're feeling. So yeah, it was a heavy documentary at first, but it progressively got lighter because I felt like instead of her carrying the weight of her anxiety and her depression and this bipolar disorder that she was diagnosed with, towards the end it felt like she was walking with it. I'm super excited for what she has going on next, and I'm sure it'll be great, and I'm so thankful that I got a chance to watch it. I will be canceling my Apple TV subscription, which I just watched it just to see this, so you're welcome. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Did you guys get a chance to watch the Apple TV documentary? What did you think? Do you think it should have been rated R? I really didn't see any reason for it to be rated R or anything. What are your thoughts on mental health? Did she spark some sort of conversation with you and your family? That's all. I think that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to be a kind person. Like, I really mean that. Seriously. Including me. Anyways, thank you guys, and have a great day. You feel me? Bye.